Hello everyone, this is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for August 22nd through the 28th of 2021. So let's see if I can get it all together on a Friday this week, y'all. It has been an incredible week of wonderfulness, I gotta say. All kinds of good things have happened during this Leo new moon zone for me, and I hope that you too are connecting with your authentic heart and remembering your creative self that can possibly respond to or resolve the challenges of today, right? And this week's energies are led by the Aquarius full moon. Remember, we have two of those back to back, so this is a month later. How's it going? Very often, this is going to be a different area of life, not for everyone, but for most of us, where the new beginning is taking off. So what is happening that you weren't aware of until you initiated, right? That definitely happens with new creative projects because you don't know until you know. So that's why I always warn you that the first class of anything that I do is going to have a little bit of extra flexibility in it because I have my perspective on it and I'm coming from here. But then when we have a community get together, it expands and we start to realize, oh, there's a piece here, there's a piece there that I didn't even think of. Absolutely, this would be great. And so this is why they say two heads are better than one, and why having some kind of community support, whether it's one, two, or three people, or a whole circle to turn to, because sometimes we can be a little narrow-minded and locked in on our own little perspective, so we're not thinking outside the box the way we should, right? So definitely look for that full moon illumination this week. But what's kind of juicy overall about the energies for the personal planets is that Mars is in a real easy angle to Uranus. This is Virgo to Taurus, y'all. So we're having blessings between our energy and our current awakening that's happening in our physical body. So this means, I don't know about y'all, but I've started a lot of new routines because I just moved within the last 6 months. So I'm starting to get a rhythm to that, and it would be so nice to have this kind of ease and grace to develop it and anchor it for before the fall and winter comes, right? But Venus is in a trine to Saturn. So here's the thing. Our masculine, the part of us that negotiates on our behalf, gets our ideas in the world, and holds good boundaries, is linking up in a delicious way where the elements line up and the Virgo and Taurus departments of your chart are buzzing with possibility for your physical reality to change at this moment. If you make some new choices, if you take some new actions, it can be a really amazing thing. With our feminine, the part of us that contains, nurtures, protects, and kind of creates space and nurtures to full development and all that juicy feminine stuff, is in ease and grace with Saturn. So this is even better because we can create this kind of foundation that we need that is much more sustainable if it's coming from a feminine perspective. And at the same time, Venus rules our love, money, and magnetics, right? This is ease and grace with making something real there, or making something tangible, or securing something for the long term. Something, I don't know, it feels so good. And this trine is an air trine, so we might actually apply it to our creative ideas, because this is Venus in Libra, where she's her strongest and most focused on partnerships, collaborations, and socializing in new and different ways, which we're all kind of developing what that might be right now, and practicing, knowing that there might be a few bumps in the road until we iron them out, but that we are developing this new way of relating. And it's often a restoration of your own beauty and harmony within or in your environment like that, right? So when Saturn gets tagged, it's even more real. So it usually does coincide with very literal things. So this is a good week for our masculine feminine, while Mercury is mixing it up with Pluto and Neptune. So we know that there's some more ease and grace around transforming how we think and how we express and how we communicate. Again, if we can change that with some ease and grace, if we can change our choices and directions with some ease and grace, if we can upgrade our beauty quotient around here, with some ease and grace. This is all very good to kind of tuck in around you as extra support in preparation for forward movement. Because it is also full moon week, so there's some kind of closure and completion going on as well. So let's look in our Aquarius departments for that and see where, again, upgrading how we relate and who we relate with might alter the kinds of communities that we join or belong to, or, you know, devote our time, energy, and resources to. Or do you need to birth your own, right? Oh, this is just, it feels like a really good week for us on a personal, individual level. And of course, we're transitioning from Leo into Virgo. So just be mindful of how the elements change, and that means that the essence and the lessons and the blessings all change as well. So we're shifting from igniting our own passion and heart to want to be something new and different out there and tell this new story and embody this new truth. Now we get into the Virgo month of the year, and it's always, let's integrate it. How do we put it into the routine? How do we make it part of the daily rhythm, right? How can this work? That's what we want to know. How can our ideas work? How can the things we want to do for ourselves as individual personally can work? You know, all of that comes into play during Virgo. And it's assessment time. It's processing time. It's moving toward that place where we assess the whole year of 2021, which we know was a response to 2020 in a lot of ways. And where are you at? What can you harvest from this year that can feed the root of 2022, which is, I promise, going to be a lot more magical and imaginative and fun. So I was just about to apologize for off-roading like that, but it occurs to me that I only have until Tuesday to come up with something that would be maybe a 30 to 60 minute audio bonus material. So I'm just going to throw this out there. If there's something you want to know more about right now, there are several things I could talk about. Mars is pretty active for the next several months in strategic, important ways that complement the Venus work we're doing. Venus, I've got the Venus circle for that. But I was also thinking about the Saturn-Uranus square, because we will be wrapping that up by the end of the year as well. So we might want to utilize that energy a certain way. The only other thing that I did make a huge list about was what Jupiter was going to do while it dipped back into Aquarius right now, and then what it's going to do when it gets back to Pisces the first part of 2022. So I thought about doing a recording for that as well. So talk to me, y'all. Somebody send me an email. Let me know what's on your mind and what you would like to know more about, or what you would like to work more consciously with at this time, because you know that's my thing. Let's check in with these cycles. These are all important cycles kicking right now that we can co-create with on an individual basis. So our forecast kicks off on the 22nd, which is Sunday, with Mars trining Uranus. This is a powerful combo. However, it has to be integrated and consciously expressed to yield the best results. Otherwise, you may miss an opportunity for a major personal breakthrough. Okay, this is the challenge of trines. It can sometimes be too easy to kind of go off in your own direction. Mars gives you the courage, and Uranus awakens new possibilities within. This is an easy alignment of your actions and your individual brilliance. You may even discover some new gift or talent that has been dormant for a while, but is now beginning to come to life. This energy pushes you to try something new that liberates you in some way that you may have previously felt daunted by in the past. Because of the easy angle, too, this new evolution to the next level should not entail you having to annihilate any other aspect of your life. You will just intuitively know that it is time to change. It won't matter what others think or say either, because the prompting for change is coming from within. So take advantage of this time to experiment. You never know where it will lead. Deep breath. That's what happens when Mars and Uranus get together. So if you're paying attention, it can get very interesting. Same day, our Aquarius full moon. So that's powerful energy, y'all. And certainly it's kicking off right now, Friday, Saturday, leading up to Sunday. And Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're still in the window. Remember, with the full moon and new moon, the window of energy and power to do what we got to do is 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. The other thing to be mindful of is that the sign that precedes that full moon or new moon is warming you up for it. So pay attention. And then the sign that follows it is kind of sealing the deal and locking in any magical work that you were doing. So let's keep that in mind as well. In this case, right before the Aquarius full moon, we had to move through a Capricorn moon, which lights up a certain area of your world that says, okay, something's about to peak and culminate with the Aquarius full moon. And then as soon as we get to the other side of it, into the Pisces moon, hopefully we can use our imaginations to tell a more positive, uplifting story and whatnot. So this is our second Aquarius full moon in the last month, and this one's release work is going to be slightly different. Where the first Aquarius full moon on July 23rd was about clearing and completion in so many ways that had to do with bigger cycles, this one is more about helping your Leo new moon intentions have room to blossom. We are past the ending vibration and initiating a whole new rhythm of creation going forward for the next 18 months. We have been through a lot in the last 18 months, mostly endings. Now life will be more dominated by new beginnings. So stay alert and clear about what you are co-creating. It is truly the beginning of a new era for all of us. Aquarius time is all about connecting to your most authentic self and unique contribution. Because of the shift that you're undergoing at this time, having to be innovative is the least of it. There are so many major integrations that must take place in order for you to be able to contribute in the first place, right? You are probably still clearing debris and hopefully setting up a new life where your thoughts, words, and deeds are more congruent with your deepest beliefs. We are having this personal transformation at the same time Saturn is in Aquarius for its once in 30 years reset in that area of life. So the last time we had access to this incredible grounding, manifesting, and protective energy was 1990 to 93. So anything that you can do on a personal level will serve you well for 7 years at a minimum with Saturn involved, right? Use the whole summer of 2021 to consider what makes you a unique and special individual. What do you love to do? What do you care about? Where does your creativity bubble up and overflow? This lunation is helping you initiate expressing your individual gifts and talents in all new ways and with all new people in all new social situations. It is time to invest your time, energy, and resources on the future that you are creating rather than any kind of past that you are fixing. Try to remember that without you and your gifts, the world is short of vital and necessary energy. You can use the current planetary support at this time to access the best of who you are, while also participating in a larger context, where the individual meets global to collaborate and evolve together. Focusing and accessing your essential self, which is what happens when we move through Leo time and the Leo new moon, then activating the courage and heart-centeredness to naturally contribute your gifts to the whole community, which is Aquarius's department. Now you have a chance to dedicate your energy to your own potential, as fulfilling that potential enables you to serve humanity in some perhaps small but significant way. Deep breath. Such a powerful full moon to co-create with consciously. Then Monday, the 23rd, Venus is going to trine Saturn. So remember, we have the masculine first, linking up with Uranus to liberate and awaken our choices and actions. And then we go to Venus and Saturn to smooth things out and make them solid and long-lasting and beautiful. This is a smooth, easy energy that you can work with consciously and yield incredible, even tangible results. It's a good time to define your terms where relationships are concerned because you are really clear about your own values and priorities at this time. Based on your past choices and efforts, positive benefits and earned rewards are forthcoming. If you have avoided responsibility in your own relationships, public or private, then this energy can help you get back on track with less pain and suffering than usual, which is what happens when Saturn's involved, right? If you can be practical about your own limits and realistic about what others bring to the table, then this energy also supports discussing forward movement, development, or spiraling to a new higher level in some way, and especially as a team. You know, it's more about the team than you when Venus and Saturn are involved, okay? strategizing about the future, clarifying the vision of what will support and protect all involved, and honoring the essence of life that runs throughout is deeply supported by these two getting together in an easy angle. Venus is also the energy of love and money, so it's a good time to be objective and somewhat conservative where both your relationships and finances are concerned. With this interaction with Saturn, I would suggest outlining a reasonable relationship or financial goal for the next 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. And honestly, I'm going to say for the next 3 months because Venus is still in her process and we are finishing up the cycle. We only have about 3 months to go before she gets to Capricorn and stops and hangs out for a little while there and rearranges things for us. So this is one of those things that we can really tap into when you hear me say we're telling the new story, we're living into the new narrative right now. And in the Venus circle, we're coming down into the solar plexus, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this call. So we're about to get real. This is where we've been exploring ideas and possibilities. And by the end of the year, we need to commit or choose or create containers for them. So this is a great check-in with Venus and Saturn to go, okay, what's already real and solid? What's really working? But how could I grow and expand because of my base, because it is solid, because it's strong, because it's working together for the greater good in this moment? And it's Libra Aquarius. So it's, you, the individual within the context of your relationships and community that's getting reset. Basically, you're, again, kind of closing out an old chapter and preparing to open a new chapter in 2022 that's completely different than what you've been doing for the last year or 2 or 10 or whatever. So that was the 23rd, which is Monday. Tuesday, the 24th, Mercury is going to oppose Neptune. This energy requires us to balance the higher and lower mind. Some sensitive souls will feel bombarded by energies from all sides, and it may feel like information overload and very stressful. The best use of this transit is meditation, not making important decisions or commitments for a week or so. Communication with others is challenged, another reason to only communicate with your higher self or at least check in more often this week. Don't believe everything you read or hear. Allow information to flow at a comfortable pace and wait for the energy to shift before making any decisions based on the information gathered. Some will access the necessary clarity for furthering their vision, while others' vision will be blurred and clarity just out of reach. Okay, so deep breath. Mercury is our mental, how we think, process, express, communicate, all that personal good stuff about how we do that, right? Neptune is the vision, it's our connection to God and spirituality, and anytime any planet's dealing with Neptune, we have to work in the boundaries issues. So here, it's boundaries to the mental, to the input, output, okay? Again, humans, I'm going to continue to remind you all of this because our mental is the same as our physical. Input in, input out. We don't store stuff. We're not supposed to. We burn fuel on a daily basis, so we have to take in fuel on a daily basis. There are some things that our little human minds are not supposed to be able to process and integrate. So right now, when it's opposite Neptune, on one hand, like I said, we can work on our vision, we can clarify some details, we can go real deep on some artistic stuff and creative stuff, for sure. The imagination, all supported anytime these two are talking, because there's a communication going on between your mind and your spirit with these two. So it's good to check in, but it's a little more challenging on the ground, let's say, in 3D with these two. So being mindful, are you hearing what you think you're hearing? Are you saying what you think you're saying? That's one of those times I'll tell my husband, now I know what I said, what did you hear? And it's not so much that I want him to regurgitate what I just said. I really want to know what he got out of what I said. So it just might be one of those things, like I said, with the full moon and the masculine feminine doing all this juicy personal stuff, it might be best to just do things on your own this week anyway, if you can, right? So that's Tuesday. And then Thursday, the 26th, Mercury is going to trine Pluto. So this is the other thing. Maybe something happens with the Mercury-Neptune thing where you make a connection, where you have that awakening or deeper experience that allows you to be that much more creative, imaginative, and unique, right? There's something between those two that's trying to give you a message about your creativity as well. And if you can figure that out, I bet you Mercury turning around to trine Pluto makes that change, or any kind of change that you have to do, much easier to just knock it on out. So claim it. Let's not claim that we have to do things the hard way anymore. Let's claim this ease and grace when it is presented. So this activation makes any deep delving within easier and more fruitful. It encourages you to ask the deeper questions, clarify your deeper feelings, and trust your intuitive gut feelings that are telling you something has to die so that some other aspect of your consciousness can live. This also reminds me that I forgot to say, last chance to check out the Aquarius full moon divinations. Okay, it was such a special lunation. I did a 3-part series of divinations for the first Aquarius full moon, for the Leo new moon of August 8th, and then for this week's full moon as well. So I'm making sure you have a link to that in the blog as well. This did make me think of some of those divinations as well, so if you're into it, they were quite interesting. And will complement this Pluto deep diving work. So basically, you will want to explore your inner self, sort through recently gathered information, and try to understand better what your natural process really is. It is best to be alone for such research, as you might imagine. Take a day or a weekend and grab your most powerful books and music and get somewhere beautiful if you can. If not, then your bedroom will do just fine, and dig deep. You are finally ready for the deeper truth, and you will be transformed by what you learn. If you must communicate with others, plan on that being deep as well. So best to talk to a trusted advisor or a wise elder. Nothing superficial today. The only warning with this energy is not to become obsessive about one particular idea, and certainly don't try to force any ideas on others. If you feel the deep need to focus on one particular thing, that is fine, but try to find some perspective or write down all your revelations so that you can reflect on them at a later time when you can be more objective and prioritize better. So, deep breath. Again, this could really help with your creativity for my artists and creators. This could really take you to a deeper level with your work and how you express and things like that. It's still a pretty juicy one to work with, but you got to be ready to listen to your soul in this case, not just the mind. So the Mercury retrograde in Libra class is jumping off. Mercury is going to move into Libra on August 30th, and it doesn't hit Scorpio till November 5th. So we're going to go in on the first 3 Wednesdays of September, which is the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th. And I have a little breakdown and a plan for that because I want to do more magical divinations on the shadow periods. And your bonus goodies are your Mercury retrograde activations, which is whatever Mercury is going to touch in your chart. So that's customized and part of your bonus goodies. Not to mention a bunch of other really cool tools that I've put together for you for this class that is just going to be so much fun. You can register and donate the $100 there. That includes all your goodies and the 3 Zooms. And then our Venus Circle is happening next Thursday, September 2nd. I just thought I'd give you a heads up because I know many of you do want to drop in. And this month is kind of special, y'all, because our activation is technically September 9th. So 9/9 is very special to me. It is going to be at 29 degrees Libra, which is the end of the degrees and where we step into a certain amount of mastery. And at the same time, we are also in this place of surrender where we've done all the work on ourselves that we can do. And now the universe is going to respond with the relationships, collaborations, and partnerships that are a vibrational match, right? So our chakra is the solar plexus this month. Like I said, now that we've come down beyond the heart, we're coming into form. We're looking at the ideas and choices and opportunities that we've been exploring, thinking about what we want to bring into form or what we want to commit to by the end of the year. So when we get to the power center at Libra, our archetype is the advocate, which is really powerful. And our story, I love the story in Kathy Pagano's Wisdom's Daughters book, is Sun, Moon, and Wind went out to dinner. It's great. You guys are going to love it. So I probably will share story time again on YouTube and Instagram because that has been really fun for everyone. But this month is going to activate the Libra part of you that now understands that you can channel more power and be a better instrument for good in the world when you are balanced within and your various relationships are reciprocal and fulfilling. It's time for you to begin negotiating new terms across the board, terms which include more harmony, beauty, and kinship to be woven in and throughout your actions and interactions. So deep breath, that's what we're resetting at the solar plexus, reclaiming in Libra. Let's see, what's our question this month? What relationships are you cultivating that encourage sovereignty, personal freedom, and independence? Okay? That's what time it is. And remember, again, we're coming into our lower chakras to start embodying this new story. It's no longer a concept. We've cleared all the concepts out. It's time to be it. It's really interesting. So if you're into Mercury retrograde or you have strong Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, then this one is going to affect you directly, and it would be great to join us. It just so happens that Venus is in Libra as well, and that we're going to do our reclamation there too. So those are two events that you can join me for in the very near future. And I mentioned before that I probably will offer the Astro 101 class again. One of the things that my students and I came up with that is really resonated with everyone in the group was perhaps to dial it in just a little bit with that class and do a certain group of people that are at a common age and stage in their cycles so that we are kind of all in alignment. We had mostly 30-somethings, maybe early 40s, and then one second Saturn return, 60-something. So it was still great. We still are having a wonderful time and still have one more class to go. But it was like a big resounding yes. Okay, if we could focus on, the 30s or the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, because that is one of my philosophies. There's things that happen to all of us at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then it jumps to like 72. So we are at different ages and stages at different times, and at the same time, learning to apply that Astro 101 material is so useful when we all kind of have a common focus. So I'm working on that, which means it might be survey time, y'all. I might have to put out a little 4-sentence survey because I just need you to tell me what your age and stage is and what your focus is at this time. And I got to see how many of who I got. I don't know how many of the different generations I have anymore because the community has definitely outgrown my micromanaging. Yeah, I used to know every single person on my list. But those days are long gone. Now I have too many people joining in a day or leaving in a day, so I can't track it. But I am so grateful for those of you that stick with me, even through the learning curve that I know it is when you're learning about cycles and patterns. It's a different way to look at your own blueprint. I get that. And I love helping people kind of figure it out because even though it does take a little more effort than sun sign astrology or some of the regular stuff out there, once it clicks, I do have diehards. Like my people are my people for years to come. I started this online stuff in 99. So I still have people from way back then following along. It's really amazing, y'all. And I am deeply grateful. It means the world to me that so many have been along for the ride or for the evolution of me and my work. Like you all have been holding my hand just as much as I've been holding yours. So I thank you for that. And thanks for listening. Thank you for being part of the community. Reach out if you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.